So this is the all-new DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro and this is the new GoPro Hero 13 Black Edition. Welcome guys to a comparison review between two of the most amazing cameras in 2024. Now I'm doing this comparison from my point of view as creator. Now I love to integrate action cameras into my workflow because it makes things much easier. If you have a part of the video which is like a vlog, it's just so much faster. Especially also if I shoot some car videos or for instance motorbikes, they're super tiny, they offer great image quality, doesn't matter which action camera in 2024. All pretty good, but some of them are actually working better in my workflow because they're easier to match with my camera. And I want to bring you this review from my point of view as creator, which one has the better image quality, which one has the better price to performance ratio, and which one is just easier to work with in general. So I hope you guys enjoy this review, and now let's go and let's jump right in.
Alright, so there we go. Here's now the Action 5 Pro and the GoPro Hero 13 Black Edition. Now first of all I want to talk about price to performance. What do you get when you buy the whole creator package? Now what you can see here on the right side is that Hero 13 Black Edition creator package or creator combo, however this thing is called. And it comes here in a quite nice accessory bag. The only issue I have this inside here is basically cardboard. So for organizing your stuff, well, it's nice, but once this gets wet or something, after some time you have to throw it and then it's just a regular box without any organizers. I think that's kind of messy. Anyhow, as you can see, it comes here also with plenty of clips, some other accessories, screws, mounts, etc. Another door there, and many other things. Now, DJI also includes in their package quite a lot of stuff, but still some things are missing. Now let me show you the differences. So when you buy the GoPro kit, you have seen you get this box, plus you get your action camera, one battery, but you also get this powered battery grip, which you can see, which also charges the camera, gives you round about 5 hours of runtime, while the DJI grip gives you round about, of course depends on the settings, etc., 7 hours of extra runtime. And other than that, the functions are quite similar, as you will see later. The only difference I saw is that it's a bit harder to open this grip here than the DJI grip, because it has here big flaps, and yeah, see, it's quite dirty, used it a lot. But anyhow, I like the DJI grip a bit more, but that's just personal preference. Nevertheless, they basically do the same thing. So when you're buying the GoPro set, you also get those mounts you have seen before, plus you get this really cool vlogging kit. This basically attaches to your GoPro, and then also here you have an extra USB-C port where you can charge your camera, you have a microphone out, and here is even another HDMI out, so you have plenty of functionality, and it even includes a light. And why? Because you really need it for low light, because the camera in low light doesn't perform really good, as you will see later in the comparison. Anyhow, for vlogging, I mean, it's quite cool. The only thing is you need to charge this light extra, so this doesn't charge from the camera. It also has the microphone in here, this thing you can take off, and there's a vlogging microphone. I mean, the microphone is quite decent, also back and front, but it doesn't sound as good as having the DJI mic connected, because the DJI mic actually also works on the GoPro Hero 13. So this is what you get with GoPro, but the only thing is it will set you back 680 euros, at least here in Europe, and gives you only one battery. I think that's a bit not such a good deal. When you buy the DJI set, you're looking at 480, but it doesn't include the grip. The grip is another 100 extra. So what you see here, without the Action 4, this thing here, also without the microphone, is round about 100 euros cheaper than the GoPro kit. For the 100 euros you save, you can actually also buy a DJI mic too. So you get the full nice package, which matches kind of what GoPro is offering. But I think when you talk about price to performance for your money, you're getting more at DJI because it includes, I think it's round about 100 euros if you buy this separate. It includes a charging case with 3 batteries in there. And also you have a better battery life with that grip right over here. Essentially, they have pretty much the same functionality when it comes to the functions. As you can see, Bluetooth connection, charges the camera, start recording, stop recording. They also have here this tripod, which is almost the same angle if you put it like this. So just check this out. So it's really super similar. First of all, I was like, what is the actual difference? So basically not that much, but I think price to performance when we're talking, you get the better set here, because I see myself much more using a wireless mic than this vlogging mic, especially from further away from the camera, which is for me much more versatile. And you get the cheaper package because you also save, because you get 3 batteries while you only get 1 battery here. Of course, GoPro is offering much more accessories than DJI, also for FPV pilots who like to strip down the camera. There is plenty of things for GoPro, while there's not that much for DJI. And I also forgot to mention, with the DJI set, you also get this selfie stick here without that mount. So you get more for your money when you're buying the DJI set. But if you're looking into much more accessories, like even interchangeable lenses, then you should have a closer look at the GoPro, but you're paying much more in the end than when you're going for the DJI Action 5 Pro. Well, so I think for price to performance ratio, Action 5 Pro, when it comes to accessories, is the way to go. But let's have a closer look at the cameras. Now, if we have a closer look at the cameras, we can see the GoPro Hero 13 Black Edition. As you can see, it is significantly bigger. So you're getting a slimmer package with the Action 5 Pro, and also in terms of weight, we're looking here at 146 grams, and here I think it's 159, something like that, so don't count me on that. So it's a little bit heavier. Nevertheless, for normal action camera use, you don't really notice the difference. When it comes to screens, however, there's a huge difference. So let's turn it on so you can see how fast they turn on. Now, as you can see, the Action 5 Pro turns on super fast, so it's less than a second. For this feature, the camera has to be started at least once that day, and then you press the button again and it turns off. Now you can see both of the screens here, and also the powering off, it takes much longer on the GoPro. You can see both of the screens. Let me show you the difference. And the DJI screens are significantly bigger, they look better, they are dual OLED touch screens. I mean, it's really frustrating. On the Hero 13, as you can see, this is still only a preview screen and you cannot do anything here. Now on the DJI, however, I have the full control of the settings and the menu is really streamlined. So especially if you mount this camera, like for instance in the car to film yourself, sometimes you need to change settings, and on the GoPro you have to take it off the mount, adjust the settings, which is, from my point of view, really not the way to go. So on the DJI, with the dual OLED touchscreens, it is much easier and more versatile to use. So now let's have a closer look at the mount. And the mount, there's a big difference. You see, this is really strong. Now let's have a closer look here at the mount, and here is a big difference. Now this is a very strong magnetic mount, as you can see. On the GoPro now it is also magnetic, so just check this out. But it's super weak. It's just like, okay, it snaps in easier than the previous mounts. But yeah, the magnet doesn't function like anything else. Now on the DJI, I would not put it without a mount somewhere, but I already did. If you have really a strong metal surface, you can stick it to it and it will hold there even without a mount. But on the GoPro, this is not possible. This is way too weak. Now on the Action 5 Pro, you can actually also use that mount to film here, oh, wrong mount, to film here in 9:16. This is especially great for my TikTok videos. While on the GoPro, I can leave it in this format and change it in the software to do 9:16. So it's really nice that you can do this by software on the GoPro. On the DJI, you have to just, flip it once around, which is not really a big deal for me. Nevertheless, both cameras, other than that, really similar. On the DJI, you can also put ND filters, like for instance here, or other lens attachments, but no replacement lenses. On the GoPro, this is really cool, to be honest, because if you just turn this, you can take off the lenses, you can see, and there is macro lenses, but they're all really expensive. There's also a super wide lens, but you're paying really top coin for that feature. Now, if you really want to have that feature, well, GoPro is the way to go, but nevertheless, you are really paying a lot of money for that feature. Now, when we're looking at the battery, so here we have now this new waterproof seal on the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro, and in here we have a 1950 mAh battery. Now, this latch is really easy to open, while on the GoPro, honestly, it's a bit hard and difficult to open it. It gets easier over the time, so after a few weeks now it's better. We have here the USB port inside, so it's a bit harder to reach than here on this side. Nevertheless, also you have to remove that door when you want to put that extra accessory frame. So it's a little bit more, I would say, complicated than on the Action 5 Pro, but also it has totally different accessories. So there's not such a big difference other than that. Now, that's basically it from the form factor, from the mounts, from the ports. Both just have USB-C, no other else connectors. For other functionality, you need to have accessories. And yeah, the screens, as you can see, big difference. No touch screen on the GoPro, it's a bit disappointing. And now I'd say let's have a closer look at the software, because here it gets quite interesting. All right, so let's have a closer look at the menu and the features. Now, first of all, when we have a closer look at the menu, I really have to say the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro menu for me personally is easier to use. Tell me what you think about that. Probably experienced GoPro users that had all of the GoPros, they will say it's in the opposite way. But for me, honestly, I think the menu is just more structured and clearer. If you have a closer look here at the settings, basically you just swipe up here, and on the DJI you can choose here between the format you want to shoot at. Now, first of all, here left and right, it goes through the modes. Here, for instance, video resolution, frame rate, and I think it's really streamlined. On the GoPro, it is a little bit different. Now, first of all, also here I can switch between the modes. I can not swipe up here because I have to press that button here. And you see the user interface, it is much more laggier than on the Osmo Action 5 Pro. Now, it's still smooth, but I think for some reason there are some hiccups from time to time, and you see much smaller buttons, while here on the DJI I just swipe left and right. Here I have to go through the menu, find all the buttons here to press, kind of tiny. Now, honestly, I prefer to do the settings of the GoPro in the app on the phone because it's just so much easier. Anyhow, you have plenty of options in here, and GoPro also allows you, for instance, to have framing 8x7, which you, for instance, don't have on the DJI, but on the DJI you have, for instance, also 4x3 in 120 frames, which is now new here. But as you can see, there is plenty of cool features here also on the GoPro, and on the GoPro there is also the option of choosing, for instance, 9x16 video, which I think is quite cool. Now let's talk a little bit about the resolution and the modes. So the GoPro offers a native 5.3K resolution in all those formats, which you can see here in the log format, 16:9 and 8:7, also at 60 frames. 5.3K is a high resolution than 4K 60 on the Osmo Action 5 Pro, which allows you to crop in more without losing detail, which allows you to stabilize and post more with a crop in, which you don't have on the Osmo Action 5 Pro. So that's the benefit on the GoPro. But both of those cameras support HDR recording. So here you can see HDR here on the GoPro, and here you also have plenty of adjustments. So you can also go here to 10-bit, and as you can see, denoise, you can adjust the sharpness, and HLG HDR can be turned on here. On the DJI, if you go here to the Pro settings, you can switch it here in the color options. So we have here HLG 10-bit, normal 10-bit, normal 8-bit, and D-Log M 10 M-bit. What DJI also has is the color recovery. So it basically applies the LUT in the camera to show you how it looks like, which is pretty cool, because you can see if something is getting overexposed to something. So for post-production can be cool. So I would recommend to turn it on. Then you will have it here, D-Log M 10 M-bit color recovery. Because if you shoot here in the log format, for instance on the GoPro, it looks really flat, and to be honest, that footage is really hard to grade, at least for me. So in terms of usability and easy to grade, definitely I would pick the Osmo Action 5 Pro all of the time. The Osmo Action 5 Pro also has a bigger sensor, so it supports superior night footage, and it's really such a big difference between the Osmo Action 5 Pro and the GoPro when it comes to night footage. So, you know, GoPros, once it's dark, they really go pitch black. On the DJI, if you switch to the night mode, which obviously records in 30 frames, but the DJI has a larger sensor than the GoPro, so it performs really much better in low light scenarios, and there's really a big difference. So if you're looking into having great low light footage, I would really recommend picking the DJI. Other than that, well, they offer similar features, but I think the menu on the GoPro is much harder to use. Now, we're already talking about features, so DJI has also plenty of features which GoPro doesn't have, and this is, for instance, subject tracking. Subject tracking is pretty cool. It can keep yourself in focus due to cropping and panning in the image. It will keep you in the middle of the picture even if you move around. It's a little bit creepy, but it's such a cool feature. You don't have this on the GoPro, so if you rely on that feature, choose the DJI. Also, you can quickly go to slow motion right over here. You can quickly go to hyperlapse right over here, while on the GoPro you have the options between time-lapse, video and photo. So on the GoPro it maybe looks like it doesn't have a slow motion feature, but actually yes, it has. It's just more complicated to go there. So you have to go to standard, you have to go by 16:9, you have to go to 1080, then it unlocks the 240 frames. On the DJI it's just so much more convenient. I go to slow motion and everything is already in the preset. I have here 1080p 240, I have here 2.7K 120 or 4K 120. But there is one cool feature exclusive to the Hero 13 which you don't have on the Action 5 Pro, which is this 400 frames per second burst slow motion. It's only 720p, and also it's quite limited because you can only record 15 seconds after you press the shutter, but 15 seconds in 400 frames per second, that results in over 3 minutes of runtime. But you have to press the button, you can only record those 15 seconds and not a whole video. So some people misunderstand that, they think the camera can record in 400 frames per second, but it doesn't. It does it only for a short time in that burst slow motion picture thing, and does then a video out of it. Nevertheless, if you want to record in 240 frames, both of them cap out the 240 frames for real video content. So that's why, they're pretty similar if you're talking about just video content in high frame rate. Now guys, let's talk about the most important thing. Do those cameras still overheat in 2024? And yes, they do. Not in 4K 30. 4K 30 you can record the whole time without any overheat on both cameras. So 4K 30 on the Action 5 Pro I got more than 2 hours and 40 minutes. It depends, 2 hours 40, 2 hours 43. It really depends, then it just shuts off battery empty. That's crazy. But also it's recording with a much lower bitrate than the GoPro. That's what some people also found out, which I found out also after my initial review. The GoPro, however, it records 1 hour less. After 1 hour 40, battery is empty, but also it records in a higher bitrate. In 4K 60 things look completely different. We have around 2 hours until the battery is empty on the Action 5 Pro, until it just dies because the battery is empty. There's no overheat. On the GoPro is around 45 to 60 minutes depending on the conditions until it overheats in 4K 60. 4K 120, we're looking at around 50 minutes to 1 hour until it overheats on the Action 5 Pro in my tests, and around only 30 minutes on the GoPro until it overheats. And here, to prove that, also here they're both sitting on the desk recording in 4K 60. The GoPro is getting here around 60 degrees, so it's really quite hot if you touch it. If you look at the DJI, we're also quite hot, but we are 10 degrees less. And I noticed that in my tests until they shut off. I was measuring it with the thermal camera. The Action 5 Pro is always around 15 to 10 degrees cooler than the GoPro. Now they're both sitting here on the desk. Of course, if you have wind moving on a motorbike, things look completely different, but it's just to see what is the difference in the heat dissipation. And GoPro gets significantly hotter, resulting in more potential overheat and also in less runtime because it just simply dies. Now I think DJI is the way to go here if you want to make sure, especially in hot conditions, that you don't lose your footage because the camera overheats. Doing a much better job. The lower bit rates for me is even benefiting because I don't need that super high bit rate because it does make a huge difference in the image quality anyways, but you get much better battery life. And also the camera dissipates then less heat. But DJI also said in a future firmware update they're going to bring back a high bitrate mode, which is not available now, but maybe we're going to have an update then soon. But the DJI also, of course, has some unique features, and this is the integrated memory. So yes, you heard, you have internal memory of, you see it free here, 47.8 gigabytes. That is the actual usable memory inside of the camera. So when you forget your SD card, you have a backup of almost 50 gigs of internal storage. Lifesaver, you know, people, there are many out there that can relate to it, especially videographers. Sometimes you copy your stuff and you forget to put the SD card back, then you go to a shooting and you don't have the SD card. So this literally can save your life. You can also format the internal storage and you always have 50 gigs here of internal storage, which is absolutely great, and the storage is super fast. Also, another unique feature, the Osmo Action 5 Pro is waterproof up to 20 meters without any accessories. The GoPro is not, so you need some accessories for that waterproof case. Also for the microphone, you can connect, of course, a wireless microphone to the Osmo Action 5 Pro, also to the GoPro. But on DJI, it's amazing because they have the DJI Mic 2. It is such a great microphone, and now with the 5 Pro, you can also connect two wireless mics, so you can do interview situations or just two people inside of the frame, which is amazing. Now in the Hero 13 there is GPS again, so you have GPS overlay for the speed and for the track. The same goes also for the DJI, so both of them feature GPS overlay. Here in the DJI app and here in the GoPro app. Alright, so as you know, there's a lot to compare, so action cameras have a lot of features, but to not make this video too long, we'll jump now in the image quality comparison. But if any features missing, let me know and I'll give you some feedback in the comments. Alright, so now let's talk about the video quality, and there's something I want to address, and this is the bitrate. Now some people said in my last review, well, DJI just tanked the bitrate and this is not good. So let's have a closer look. Now here is some footage from the DJI Osmo Action 4, and yes, it's true, we had 110 Mbit and now we have in 4K 60 75 Mbit. And I don't really see a huge difference anyhow, but you save on file size and you have much better battery life. But DJI said, okay, we got your feedback and we'll actually bring back a high bitrate mode. So this is regarding that. If that's an issue for you, just wait for the update. Also, I recorded a lot of footage with the GoPro and the DJI, and here I want to give you some comments. So what you can see first of all here is the ungraded footage in Premiere Pro, and as you can see, GoPro ungraded is much more flat. And it's a little bit harder to grade, but if you use the supplied LUTs, well, both of them get great results, as you can see right over here. Now, once I applied the LUTs on many occasions, I saw like there is something with the GoPro which is a little bit weird sometimes, so let me just find it. Alright, have a closer look at this building right over here. So in reality, it's really a cherry red building. The GoPro turns most of the reds into orange, and for the pink colors get to reddish. So for the red tones, GoPro is doing something really weird here. This is the LUT from GoPro, so if you have a closer look right over here, you can see it's the official GoPro LUT. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but some people also said that GoPro, since the Hero 10, has some issues with the reds and orange tones. And yes, it's kind of weird. It's not like the reality. It looks kind of off. Maybe it's because of the warmer color tone compared to the DJI, but the reds, they don't look true to life. So you have to do some post-production color grading to get this out. So this bothers me a little bit, but if you like that style, well, it's really, really personal. When we're talking about dynamic range, I mean, both cameras, look at the sky, they are kind of similar. I just feel sometimes that the DJI is doing a better job, but have a closer look at the footage and judge for yourself. What DJI is definitely doing a much better job is when it comes to low light. So in low light, DJI is handling the light sources much better. So here you can see, for instance, 4K 60. Also here, DJI, the GoPro, with the reds here in the low light, it's boosting it too much. It looks kind of weird. Here, very strong reds here in that blue scene, which was really blue. And here the red turns into orange. So it's kind of a bit weird what's going on with the red tones here. Nevertheless, also would say personal preference. But how you see the light sources, how they are really clear on the DJI, you see it's the bigger sensor is doing a better job here in low light. Especially if you go to 4K 30, well, there's a big difference. Now, of course, in DJI, the Super Night mode maybe looks a bit too artificial, too much denoise, too much sharpening, but I think it's just the easier thing. If you need good low light, you just switch to the Super Night mode and everything is visible. But yeah, let me know what you think about that. Now, in some conditions in the night mode, well, the GoPro also turns pitch black, as you will see after, and here, for instance, it just completely messed up the reds, made it way too pink. So DJI is just doing, for me, a better job in low light scenarios. Nevertheless, other colors, well, it is looking great on both of the cameras. You have also a lot of detail on the GoPro. The 5.3K resolution, if you utilize it, is also great. Also with that 8:7 format, you can, for instance, also edit other form factors out of it. But I was just comparing apples by apples, so I was comparing 4K 60 of both of the cameras. So, nevertheless, both have great image quality, but also here you can see, for instance, when you're filming directly against the sunlight, DJI is doing a much better job just already inside the camera of balancing the shadows, making sure everything is bright in the image by not even overexposing. And yeah, at least that's what I think about it. GoPros turn out a little bit too dark most of the time, especially here. But when it comes to flares, as you will see later, I think GoPro maybe is doing a better job here. But in overall image quality and usability, for me personally, I think DJI is the better choice. But see for yourself.
So guys, it's now time for some log recording. We're using the same settings on the DJI and on the GoPro. On the GoPro, the log looks way more flat than on the DJI, but we'll see how it works in post-production. So we're now here on the playground with my daughter, and also listen to the audio quality. So sorry, I had to help my daughter for the slide. Anyhow, I'm using the audio mic from the DJI without any accessories. On the GoPro I'm using that attachment, and just listen to the difference in audio quality. Here one's directly against the sun, and also here are some vibrant colors, so check this out now. I will also try to edit it with the supplied LUTs from GoPro and DJI in post-production. And yeah, so now this is a quick selfie test comparison. So I'm shooting myself right now against the sunlight. Some people they complained about the flares from the DJI, and I'm trying to catch them now. So well, yes, the lens, as you can see right now, it gets some flares. To be really honest, on the GoPro, yeah, it looks less, at least on the display. Let me know what you think on the computer. To me, honestly, I use, it maybe sounds totally stupid, as an art element, kind of. I like those flares like this you see on the GoPro. Not here yet, so it looks like it's the lens quality on the GoPro pretty amazing for reflections and flares. But yeah, some people don't like this at all, so let me know what you think down below in the comments. And also, this is with the LUT recorded in 10-bit and color graded. I'm here in the shadow against the sunlight, so let's see also how much I can raise the shadows, and let me know what you think down below. Well guys, so we're now here at the end of this review. I really hope that you have enjoyed it. Now, working with both cameras, I really have to say they are both great cameras, but when it comes to price to performance, DJI is just rocking it. So basically you're paying less and getting, from my point of view, the better camera. Now, the only thing where I would choose the GoPro is if you really want to go full in on GoPro and buy all those accessory lenses, but then I don't see the point of that simplicity of an action camera anymore. And if you need that 5.3K resolution. 5.3K resolution, well, you can do some nice things with it, but it gives me just more work in the post-editing workflow, which I don't necessarily want because I'm short on time most of the time anyways. So for me, the Action 5 Pro is just offering the better package for me as a creator to integrate it into my workflow. It's also cheaper and I just simply love that camera. So let me know what you think. Would you pick the Action 5 Pro or the GoPro Hero 13 Black Edition? So let me know down below in the comments. I'm really excited to see your point of view. But as always, big thanks for watching. I'm Steven from Tech Magnet and I'm signing out. Bye.